Hello, it's great meeting you all with the last part of the third chapter, Matchbox by Ashapurna Devi. Women have been suppressed in the name of protectiveness from time immemorial. They were kept in the safe custody within the four walls. A woman must believe that she is in no way inferior to man. She is equal to him and sometimes even better. It is great to see Ashapurna Devi creating characters like Nomita, ready to fight against male supremacy and inequality. Nomita expresses her anger only at the extreme end of patience. This makes her a symbol of peace. In the last session, we saw Nomita questioning her husband Ajit for not mentioning regarding the letter. Slowly, this leads to heated argument. And then what happens? Hope you remember one of the famous dialogues of a versatile actor Salim Kumar in one of his films, Pokri Raja, where he tells good stories have good twists. So, after this heated argument, what twist takes place in the story? So, are you ready? Let's look into the text. Their room is on the third floor. That's a blessing. Otherwise, with that scream, everyone would have come to look. Shut up! Ajit roars out. What shut up? I will do what I want, what I please. What will you do? Can you do anything? I can't. I can't do anything. Almost panting, Nomita pronounces each word clearly. You want to see if I can do anything? And immediately, she does something that is astonishing. She grabs Ajit's matchbox that's lying near his cigarettes on the table. And she lights a matchbox and touches it to her sari. Instantly, it flashes up, the very fine anchal of a wealthy wife's sari. The very next instant, Ajit, have you gone mad? He says, and jumps to her side and grabs a burning patch and slaps it between his hands and puts out the fire. And to tell the truth, now he is a little afraid. He looks fearfully at Nomita's face, sees a fire burning there, bright, blazing red. He doesn't have the courage to put out that fire by slapping it between his hands. So he tries to pour water on it. With great difficulty, he attempts to speak normally. You lose all common sense when you get angry, don't you? A woman and such anger? Oof! Who knows what Nomita would have said next? But right then, her niece, Rini, steps into the room. Immediately, she says piercingly, So, Kurima, how much longer does the washerman have to wait? If you don't want to give him any of your clothes, at least tell him then. For a second or two, Nomita is still, perhaps recalling the washerman's face. Waiting for her downstairs, then she picks up the dirty clothes and starts sorting them. She says in a calm tone, Go, tell him, I'm coming, I'm bringing the clothes. Nomita screamed, meaning she yelled or shouted to Ajit, asking him to keep his mouth shut. The sound was so huge. Luckily, nobody heard because they stayed in the third floor. Ajit too roars, meaning Ajit shouts. He is not able to contain himself because he is a male. How can his wife, a female, demand him to keep his mouth shut? I will do what I want, what I please are the phrases that points male supremacy and challenges her by questioning what she could do. I can't do means Nomita knew that she was helpless. She was panting, meaning taking a deep breath out of exertion. Exertion again means because of great effort. You want to see if I can do anything? Here it means that she accepts Ajit's challenge to prove her ability. The quarrel reaches its climax when Nomita grabs Ajit's matches, lifts it and sets fire to her anchal. Anchal means the pallu of the sari. which again can have various references. Probably a wealthy wife's anchal is where she ties her keys, meaning she maintains the or carries over the burden of the entire house. It can also be referred to the knot tied during the marriage ceremony before they take their rounds around the holy fire, probably intending that she could break her relation with him. He understands the situation and tries to chill by speaking in normal tone. You can notice how Ajit held female in subjection, meaning inferior, when he remarks, "A woman and such anger?" Probably this statement could have triggered Nomita, but the quarrel or the argument comes to an end when their niece, Rini, enters their room. Niece means daughter of one's sister or brother or in laws. The male version is nephew. Rini reminds her aunt about the washerman waiting long. In spite of the turmoil going inside her heart, she suppresses all her emotions and speaks in a very soft manner, informing Rini that she will be down with the clothes. There is a set pattern for women to exhibit her emotions. Everyone treats her much below than she deserves. If anyone musters up the courage to question this, she is treated as an outcast. Gradually, she learns how to suppress her emotions and be docile and leads a life of a dog, very submissive and obedient. Look into the case of Saridha Naya and Swapna Suresh. They are considered to be notorious figures. They have played a major role in the existence or sustenance of Kerala politics. They have taken over the news channels by storm. Sensational photos are posted in social media. What happens if these were committed by men? The news channels wouldn't have such violent storms, nor the social media will have such juicy gossips. Just before moving into the next paragraph, let's take a look on the kinship, meaning relationship or connection by blood, marriage or adoption in Bengali joint family. Kurima means father's younger brother's wife, major wife, second oldest brother's wife, Na wife, fourth oldest brother's wife, Boro wife, eldest brother's wife. Moving to next paragraph, Nomita speaks her mind, so no one attacks her outright to her face. They only pinch her with sharp words. Her second sister-in-law is almost exhausted with work. This morning, on seeing her, she puts a twisted smile on her sweat-streaked face and says, "Well, that's something at least you finally decided to come down from upstairs, Baba. There's no good or bad time for you. You find the smallest excuse to go into your room and get cozy with your husband. Does the love talk never get old?" Nomita looks around once to get a sense of the atmosphere, sees the hurly-burly of the morning, sees a forest of fire on either side. Her voice must not tremble, so she too smiles a small smile and says in an extremely soft voice, "Oh, it's nothing like that. You should come and peek in sometime. Our talk is all angry talk. Do you know?" Major wife laughs and says, "Stop it. No, wife, don't cover up the forbidden fish with your pious spinach. We haven't been raised on donkey grass. Why do we need to peek in? What you are showing us right in front of our eyes 24 hours a day?" Nomita laughs a laugh that can bring an attractive flush to your white face. After laughing that laugh, she says, "Go on, you say the naughtiest things." The busy Boro wife runs up. "Have you chopped the vegetables yet? Or are you just telling stories? And suddenly she stops and starts. What's it? What's this unlucky thing now, wife? How did you burn your anchal that way? Nomita too starts, but only for a moment. The next instant, she folds the anchal back quickly and says, laughing, "Oh, don't remind me. It's exactly what you keep warning me about. I didn't listen, and see what happened? I used my anchal to lift a hot pot of water off the stove and then did it." Nomita pulls the basket of potato towards herself and sits down to peel potatoes, and in her mind she keeps thinking about how she might be able secretly to send her mother a few rupees. She can't really write to her. "I can't do any more. Don't hope for anything from me." Nomita speaks her mind means to say exactly what you think. Hence, instead of attacking her directly, they go for or use indirect means. The rest of the women folk are exhausted by the morning show. When she comes down from her room, her second sister-in-law accuses her of spending much time with her husband. Her sister-in-law teases her to have love talk, and getting cozy means comfortable, getting engaged in love with her husband even during daytime. Nomita, who returns to the household chores after picking a heavy fight with her husband, doesn't react at the statement but looks around, which showcases how cautious a woman is. She finds hurly-burly means rush of the morning and sees the forest of people. Forest of people refers to the crowded atmosphere in a joint family. She tries to convince Major wife, the second sister-in-law, that it was angry talk and she herself could come and peek and check. Major wife further mocks at her, asking her not to cover up the forbidden fish with your pious spinach. This is an allusion to the Bengali tradition. This actually takes us to the traditional practices happening in remote villages, where widows are forbidden from enjoying their life. They are forbidden even to savor or taste fish. Imagine a young girl who loses a husband at a very early age. How long will she lead such a dark life? As years pass by, she will slowly overcome all these negations. Then, while eating a fish, she will consume a lot of spinach along with it to hide the smell of the fish. Likewise, Nomita also hides her love talk by telling that it was all a hatred or anger speech. The word peak instills wrath or anger in Major wife. She tells Nomita that she is not eating donkey grass. This means that she is a human and doesn't act in a foolish way like a donkey by sneaking or peeking into others' room. Nomita laughs and tries to make the scene chill, though she was burning inside. Meanwhile, the busy Boro wife, the eldest brother's wife, inquires about the burnt sari. Nomita clearly hides her real expressions and pretends that it had got burnt from the stove and later continues with her household errand or tasks, imagining how to give her mother money in secret. This reveals the care for her mother. Now, the last session or the last paragraph. Over there, the entire village knows Nomita is a queen. Nomita's husband is high-minded, large-hearted. This is precisely why I compare women to matchboxes. Even when they have the materials within themselves to set off many raging fires, they never flare up and burn away the mask of men's high-mindedness, their large-heartedness. They don't burn away their own colorful shells. They won't burn them. The men know this too. That's why they leave them scattered so carelessly in the kitchen, in the pantry, in the bedroom, here, there, anywhere. Quite without fire, they put them in their pockets. Even though such quarrels and petty fights happen between Nomita and Ajit, back in her village, Nomita is known to be the wife of a generous man. The author has appropriately compared women to matchboxes because she has enough energy and resources to set off many raging fires to flare up and burn up the hypocrisy of men. Men very well know that women won't dare to do so. The comparison is very apt and title becomes relevant. The message of the story is that a woman should have enough guts and courage to speak out, make her voice heard. She shouldn't lead a life of a matchbox. She should work for her emancipation and liberation. She should be the one who elevates and designs her own destiny. Moreover, the narrative style or technique employed by Ashapurna Devi makes the story very interesting. So, this is all with the chapter. We have many discourses to be learned. Why don't we meet in the upcoming session? Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.